Genki, what have you done? You've spoiled a huge surprise. Let's talk about Nintendo Switch 2. All right, maybe it wasn't going to be such a huge surprise. We've all kind of understood that Nintendo was going to kind of stay close to the form factor and the design of the Nintendo Switch 1 with its brand new console, which I think is almost officially called Nintendo Switch 2 at this point. I think there have been lots of other brand ideas and lots of other name ideas that have been floated around out there, but I think Nintendo has chosen a wise choice and has stayed the course with Nintendo Switch 2 to delineate it from the launch Switch, which is a massive success, arguably Nintendo's biggest success ever. And we are going to be telling consumers out there that they're getting an upgrade if they go to the Nintendo Switch 2, which isn't a huge surprise. I actually made a video about this a while ago saying that Nintendo should stick with Switch 2. Super Switch would have been cool, and that would have been fun, but I think that would have been something that they should have done years ago. At this point, we want a new console. We want an iteration. But Genki has revealed what the Switch 2 is going to look like. It's going to be a little bit bigger. It's going to have more pronounced trigger buttons on the Joy-Con. There's an interesting little hook mechanic or little peg mechanic on the Joy-Con that attaches itself to the Switch 2 main console. And there is talk about there being magnets involved, whether they're electromagnets or not. There's also talk of 4K upscaling, which is something that we all want, especially as Nintendo once again partners with NVIDIA. There's also been leaks and discussion around the motherboard, and we're getting a pretty clear picture of what this thing is going to look like. And it looks like it's going to be a bigger, better, more powerful Nintendo Switch with backwards compatibility, because Nintendo has expressed their commitment to their established consumer base out there. It's also going to have a cartridge port for the larger storage size of the new Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges, but it will also fit the Nintendo Switch 1 cartridges, which is awesome. Backwards compatibility is so freaking vital and important. And it's apparently going to come with an OLED screen. That's one of the rumors that's floating around out there. Again, everything I'm talking about in this video is still speculation. Nintendo hasn't revealed the Nintendo Switch 2. It's just Genki revealing this render, which is all over the freaking internet by this point. All of us have seen it, and it's just floating around the console. It shows the new dock, which has a beefier kind of back end to it. It has the Nintendo Switch 2 logo on the front of the dock, which I don't know if they were supposed to do this. I don't know if Nintendo's going to sue Genki into oblivion at this point. I don't know what's going to happen with all this, but it's so publicly available. It's everywhere. Everybody is sharing this freaking thing. And honestly, I'm a little dismayed. I didn't want this to be the first visual unveiling of what the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to look like. Even if in our imaginations we knew exactly what the Nintendo Switch 2 was going to look like. They got it so right with the Nintendo Switch 1. It's such an exquisite machine. It's still my favorite console of all time because of its versatility and its ability to be played anywhere. I love the form factor and the vibe of playing games on the Nintendo Switch, and some excellent, exquisite games have been made for this platform. Yes, from Nintendo, but also some great third-party stuff, some unbelievable indie experiences. What a knockout smash success the Nintendo Switch has been. I am so freaking excited about Nintendo Switch 2, as I know many of you are. And in fact, I wanted to make this video more about what we all want from the Nintendo Switch 2. Not just me. I'm going to tell you guys one thing specifically that I want out of the Nintendo Switch 2 that I don't think has been talked about too much, but let's hear from you guys. I asked on social media, what do you want to see from the Nintendo Switch 2? And I got some great responses. Naoto A is DX says achievements, and they have a big Xbox achievement screen there to kind of back that up. Cody One Kenobi says a bit more power. VR that's not a cardboard box that goes over my head. A new 3D Mario game. Remastered Hero of Time Games Pack. Metroid Prime 4. I think we can all expect Metroid Prime 4 Beyond to be a launch title with Nintendo Switch 2. A return of the Virtual Console. That would be amazing. Apps like Spotify, Apple Music, Netflix, etc. And 100% backwards compatibility with Switch and accessories. I don't know if all the accessories are going to be backwards compatible because the Switch 2 Joy-Con looks a little bit different. Thank you, Genki, for spoiling all that. Matt says, had a Switch at launch and sold it 2 years later. Must-haves for me to consider going back to Nintendo. 4K, Earthbound Collection, Earthbound 4, Duck Hunt 2. What? Diddy Kong Racing from Rare. Matt Thomas says, full back backwards compatibility with Switch, including digital downloads, much improved controllers, and honestly, amazing games. Another Mario, yep, we'll get that. Zelda, of course, and at long last, a new Mario Kart. Now let's talk about Mario Kart here for a second. How the frack are they going to improve on the original Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and all of its DLC and extended content that they added to that incredible game? I think it's the best racing game ever made, quite frankly. It's just so freaking fun to play that thing in single player or multiplayer. Obviously, it should, a game like this will run better at 60 frames per second no matter how you slice it up, whether it's multiplayer, online, or whatever. And maybe there's going to be some new battle modes and stuff. But I cannot wait to see what Nintendo's developers have done with the Mario Kart formula and how they're going to mix it up. But man, that challenge that they have to beat Mario Kart 8, that is a huge challenge. It's arguably as big of a challenge as Grand Theft Auto 6 being better than Grand Theft Auto 5. Mario Kart 8 is such a permanent fixture in gaming. It has been a playable, joyful experience for so freaking long. So whatever the next Mario Kart is called, I can't wait to see it, and holy crap, have they got some work cut out for them to improve on the formula. Nindy Nation says, how about an announcement already? Whew, sorry, this whole thing has got me feeling very emotional. I feel you, Nindy Nation. I'm with you. Jonathan Levine says, chunky cartridges, some surprises on the hardware side, aka not more of the same. Also, a better name than Switch 2. I think it's Switch 2, Jonathan. John Yomtov Jr. says, switch up ABXY, which I can neither confirm nor deny. I know they have finally switched up ABXY. Ooh, cryptic. Cryptic stuff, John Yomtov. Do you know something that the rest of the world does not know? Have they switched the buttons? That would be wild. Brooke Burgess says, a surprising and classically Nintendo gimmick that stayed a secret during all these leaks. I think we can count on that. Obviously, everybody's talking about possibly the mouse functionality of the Joy-Con, which would be cool, especially if they ship with the new Mario Paint. Could you imagine? Yeah, here's a built-in Mario Paint, so you can make all kinds of stuff. Here, make your thumbnails for Nintendo Switch 2 videos, which you can record and share right from the Nintendo Switch to YouTube or something. That would be wild. If they improve its video export functionality, that would be amazing for Nintendo Switch 2. Timothy says, 4K 60 frames per second docked, themes, animated backgrounds, and OLED, but for now, just the first three. Now let's talk about OLED here for a second. It's going to be a big step back if Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't come with an OLED screen, and it's going to be something that we're all just going to have to get over. I know we're all jumping in at launch for sure, no matter how it comes, but it's going to feel like a real heartbreak if they don't use OLED for Nintendo Switch 2 at launch. Here's hoping that they do. ZMeister100 says, right now, a release date, reveal trailer, and good games. I'm with you on all of those. Patrick Covey says, an official reveal would be good for starters. The cat's out of the bag. Yup, surprises have been spoiled. Good job, Genki. Funkin' Tron says, backwards compatibility, horsepower, reliable and durable Joy-Cons, and hardware. I don't think you're asking for too much there, Funkintron. Chris Brown says hopefully they fix the stick drift issue once and for all. Now, a rumor that is going around is that the Joy-Cons will have Hall effect thumbsticks, which will cut down on that stick drift, but we shall see. And of course, if there are magnets involved with the Joy-Con and there are magnets in Hall effect thumbsticks, there might be some conflictions or some issues there. I don't know, but Nintendo knows the problem around stick drift. They know we don't want stick drift on Nintendo Switch 2. Hopefully they've addressed it. Failed Save Throw says backwards compatibility. Game Seeker X says more power. Kind of like the Emperor in the Star Wars movies. Patrick Gilkerson says 3D Mario. I think we can count on that. Adrian says, at this point, the reveal. A lot of people just said, we want to see it. We want to see it from Nintendo. I think we're going to see it next week. Alex James just says Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. You know what would be better than a pack-in of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker? Twilight Princess 2 and Wind Waker 2. That would be unbelievable. Jonathan Orr says cartridges that taste even worse. I think they're going to stick with that format. I think that the cartridges are going to taste terrible, but I don't know if they're going to mix up the formula and make it taste worse. Who knows? And Crystal Loker says backwards compatibility, and I think that's a great one to kind of end on. Thank you to everybody that submitted responses to me. There is so much hype and expectation for Nintendo Switch 2. I feel it. I can't wait to see this machine. I can't wait to play the new games and all the new stuff that Nintendo has been planning and building for us. I am a massive Nintendo fan, and I am very, very fired up. Now, I want to talk about the thing that I want out of Nintendo Switch 2, and it has to do with Nintendo 3DS and DS games hypothetically being added to Nintendo Switch Online. We know that that's a likely outcome for those titles. There are too many fantastic games from that era of Nintendo's history, and so many important experiences that would work wonderfully in portable mode again, or on the big screen with Nintendo hardware. But the thing that I've been thinking about is that there are 150 million plus Nintendo Switch 1 owners, and I've got just the screen portion. Actually, this is the whole console. This is what the Nintendo Switch is. 150 million owners of this machine out there. You know, a big chunk of those people are going to be the first adopters of Nintendo Switch 2, and one of the things that's come to the forefront with Nintendo Switch 2 is that it's going to have a USB-C port on the top and bottom of the device. And I've got my Switch OLED here. This is the launch switch. And what I've been thinking about is maybe there's going to be either a first-party or a third-party manufacturer that allows you to connect a couple of switches like that in a more elegant way than me holding it like this. And you would be able to play Nintendo 3DS games using your existing Switch 1 screen or console on top of your Switch 2 machine, and you'd have much more screen space. You'd be able to use the touch screen of either of the devices. I mean, maybe they could do it so it could be on the bottom, because this is going to be a lower resolution screen, because conceivably we're getting full 1080p at 60 frames per second on Nintendo Switch 2 on its screen. But wouldn't that be incredible? Wouldn't that be an amazing way to be able to play DS and 3DS games? You'd be able to use your finger for any of the stylus stuff. You'd be able to see everything with real clarity. Everything would be upscaled and look better than ever. And man, it would be amazing to play some of those classic 3DS and DS titles like that. Of course, they could also do something where you could play it vertically like this, and maybe there's a new case where you could elegantly play your Nintendo Switch 2 vertically and see the top and bottom screens. But I just love the idea of more screen real estate to be able to play those classic games. And maybe there are new games that implement the idea of dual screen functionality. Maybe there are Wii U titles as well that sort of take the place of you having the whole screen on the control pad. Instead, you could sort of hook up two switches like that. It also gives new life to people using their existing Switch 1 hardware, which I think, because Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible, a lot of the Switch 1s are going to start to get a little dusty. They're just not going to get used when people upgrade to the Nintendo Switch 2. So that's an idea that I've been thinking about for a long time. Let me know if you like that idea. Let me know what your ideas are for Nintendo Switch 2. What do you want out of the machine? When do you want this thing to come out? When do you think Nintendo is going to reveal it? I think we're going to see something next week. I think that it's imminent. I think that all of this noise, all of this hubbub, I think Nintendo is primed and ready. I think one of the reasons why we've been waiting so long for the reveal for this device is that Nintendo has been stockpiling lots and lots of consoles. I think that's why all these leaks have been happening, quite frankly. There are manufacturers out there that are just spoiling all kinds of information because Nintendo has got a lot of these machines ready to roll. And when they do announce it, it won't be that long of a wait before it's in our hot little hands. But I can't wait. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have got some great comments for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button and that little bell to be notified about when I've got new uploads. I'm going to be streaming a whole bunch this year as well on twitch.tv/EPN and right here on our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, everybody. We will see you soon, and until then, play forever.